In order to model interactions between business parties, we need to utilize one more construct of the BPMN language, which is the message flow. The message flow, which is represented as a dashed arrow with an open arrowhead and starting with an open circle, captures a flow of information between two process parties. And we know that we typically represent a process party with a pool. So essentially we use these message flows to capture communication interactions between two or more pools in BPMN terms. And there are two ways of exchanging messages. One is with a message flow that starts, say, from an activity in one pool, but then ends up on the border of the other pool, or that is emanated from the border of a pool and goes into a specific receive activity in the other pool. In this case, we are using the message flow to capture informative message between the two parties, whereby we do not represent specifically the content of the second pool in this example. The second pool is collapsed, so it is not relevant to the reader to understand the inner workings of this business process from the point of view of that particular business party. Another option is that the message flow is used to connect specific activities or events within two pools. So for example, we have a send activity within one pool that sends a message directly to an activity within the other pool, which will be a receive activity. So this is to capture specific information that is exchanged by two business parties, where we are interested in the details of how that information is exchanged within both parties. The message flow, similarly to the data object, is a single construct that can be used to model any information exchange between business parties. Whether that is a document that has been exchanged physically, like an invoice being sent by mail, or that is an electronic purchase order being sent via email, or even whether that is a phone call or a verbal communication. Any form of communication between business parties in BPMN is captured by means of this single construct called the message flow. The message flow can also be used to trigger process instances. So to trigger a new business process instance through the receipt of a message. So in order to do that, we take the start event and we assign an icon, a white empty envelope, to the start event. So we are actually learning a particular subtype of the start event, which is the start message event. That means that instances of this process, starting with this particular start message event, will be triggered upon the receipt of a message. And in fact, we can connect the message flow to this start event. So we'll have a message flow incoming into the start message event, like in the case of the order to cash process that starts with the receipt of a purchase order, or like in the case of a loan assessment process that starts upon the lodgement of the loan application.